Hello. I think that I can be proud of myself. Thanks to CCMC, I've managed to capture the influence of cosmic ray from the day of 13th of July on our magnetosphere, without the restriction of monitors which we can see at ISWA. Those readings were generated using the SWMF plus RCM system, with real values of BX IMF magnetic component. But let's begin from the 3D view. This is what I mean when I tell that our magnetic polarity tries to shift by 90 degrees. It's like pulling the magnetic tails of Earth in opposite directions. Guess if it is a typical shape of magnetosphere. Now, let's look at the Y-cut view. But I left the best for the end. X-cut view is really interesting. Let's look at some single images. Check out this field line. But this is not all, as another one, which is connected to the same polar cap, behaves completely different. Other ones behave in more typical way. And they are all connected to the same magnetic pole of Earth. But this is my favorite image. IMF is visibly divided into 4 different sectors. where the red boundary moves from left to right. But the direction of violet boundary movement is perpendicular to it. I won't mention the fact that the velocity vectors don't point directly towards Earth, what means that solar wind is blowing slightly from a side. Notice as well what's happening with the open magnetospheric field lines. Just as I said, those are some very interesting readings. And before some of you will say that it is probably just some error in data, take a look at readings from cluster satellites. Here we can see ion and electron energy. This ray was positively charged. Now I know why the disturbance on Schumann resonance monitor was so strong. Of course, just as every day in last time, there is another of those enormous cosmic rays. And again it is confirmed on the Bartle's cosmic ray page. It looks that the Schumann resonance was affected seriously again. It looks that we were hit again by a low energy proton spike. This one grew so big that God can probably use it as a toothpick. Maybe it's just another coincidence, but almost exactly 1 hour after the spike was recorded by ACE, a 6-point magnitude earthquake took place in Canada, southern Yukon Territory. Those who watched my previous movie remember probably that at the end I've pointed out a region where seismic activity can grow in the near future. Maybe I should start to buy lottery tickets. I have to be the luckiest man on this planet. So many coincidences. When you will look at the current forecast, you will notice that those emissions are now visibly stronger. This is how, according to the MACC monitor, looked the situation of nitrogen oxides at the time of quake. Carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, and sulfur dioxide. Although you won't see the epicenter on those images, they are worth to be recorded for two reasons. First one is probably connected with the quake, as at the time when it occurred, some disturbances were recorded by two satellites, GOES and GES. Who's making those names for the satellites? Those images are made using the sounding method. Sky is being scanned with microwaves, so they are pretty sensitive for all electromagnetic disturbances. Now look at the readings from GOES satellite. A clear appearance of low-level clouds, which were gone 2 hours later. And it is visible as well on GES images. You can see some tiny differences between readings from both satellites. Disturbance can be seen on most of those monitors. We can see as well that there was another disturbance couple hours earlier. But the biggest anomaly took place at 23 UTC. I would call it just some error, if not the fact that it is visible on GOES and GES images. And if it wouldn't be enough, this weird shaking took place during some serious ionospheric disturbances. I think that this is the cause. A wave of low energy protons, which was probably connected with another cosmic ray outburst. Maybe I request another model run on CCMC page. But because I've told you that there were some serious disturbances in the ionosphere, it would be a great sin if I wouldn't show you some readings. First, the HMF2 monitor. Since I've started to watch this monitor, I've never seen such strong anomalies. Notice as well how low is the height of those magnetic connections. "400 kilometers is a really low level. Keep in mind that couple hours earlier it was at 500 kilometers. This wave of cosmic rays caused a huge pressure on the entire ionosphere. But this image is quite interesting. It looks that the magnetic connection with low energy field was disturbed as well because of those cosmic rays. We can see here clearly 3 separate connectivity points. But before there was even more of them. Some interesting events were recorded as well on the neutral gas temperature monitor. I've seen before some increased temperature over the equatorial belt, but it was visible mostly above Philippines, not in the Caribbean. A second heat wave was recorded 2 hours later. And the possible cause can be seen on the SWMF Magnetosphere Y-cut view. This is the impact of cosmic rays. Which was followed by a plasma outflow couple minutes later. So, energetic particles from the cosmic ray, which entered the ionosphere over northern pole, moved down to the equator, where they were sucked up by the low energy field flux tube. For the end, the new polar cap potential monitor, which recorded some heavy disturbances during the midnight and early morning of 17th of July. Funny, there is hole in the data right at the time when the quake took place. But enough of this crap for today. Class dismissed. Peace.